starting to record now. I am James. I am with Haunted Texas Paranormal, and we're at the Whispering Cottage. If you two will introduce yourselves.
I'm Madison.
I'm Jason.
And what years and how long did you live here?
We lived here for about 4 years. Probably 2014 maybe? I'm not sure. For however long this has been not rented.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, how old were you when you lived here?
Probably 15, and then I turned 16 because we had my birthday party here. And now I'm almost 20, so that gives a little bit.
Okay, well, can you kind of explain in your own words some of the phenomenon that went on? Let's just start in this room. This is the first bedroom off the hallway, upstairs. When you exit the stairs, you would turn left, come through this door, into the bedroom. Did you have some experiences in this room?
Oh yeah, this was my room. This is one of like the main areas that I would have interactions, kind of, I guess. Like a little girl laughing, always playing with my things. I would always come home. My room would be trashed. My dresser drawers open. My clothes everywhere. My trash everywhere. The bathroom door open. Which in the mornings, I'm the last one up here, so I have everything shut because we had animals. And I would come home, everything would be open.
Her room would be destroyed.
Yeah. And like I had an art table and all of my utensils, paper, just everywhere. What else other than like the bathroom that connects?
Well, what happened in the bathroom?
There would just be a lot of weird noises, like the shower curtain, like a hand pushing it inwards when no one else is up here, or just like, again, the bathroom doors opening and closing. I had it locked on me before.
While you were inside or needing to get in?
Yeah, inside, like on both ways, since it connects to the other side. I just wasn't able to, and then finally.
Were you mentioned a hand pushing on the shower curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Could you actually discern a handprint, or was it just that the curtain was moving?
It was like if you take your palm and you just push it.
So you could actually see the digits,
Yeah,
the palm, and all
like
that.
You could see the shadows. Like if your hand was in the sunlight, whatever would cast behind it is what would be in the curtain.
So in your bedroom, other than your stuff being scattered and trashed, did you have any personal interactions with a spirit or the little girl or anything?
Well, I was the only girl in the family, so I think she was more attached to me than anyone else, especially in my room. So there would be days that I would come home from school, and I'd come up here, I'd put my backpack away, and there was one time where my brother was at basketball camp, and I was alone in the house alone for the first time, and I come up here, and right in my ear, I hear a little girl start laughing, and it would just get louder. So I went downstairs, and then while I was down there, I called my mom, asked her to get home fast, and then up here, my brother's room was over there. And like I said, I'm the last one to leave up here in the mornings or when they go to school. So I always turn our TV off. Well, it turned back on while I was downstairs, home alone. So I'm like, I have to go turn that off because electricity was really high in this house. So I'm heading up the stairs and I get to the door and then it just turns off by itself. And I went outside and I waited for my mom to come home because I'm not gonna mess with anything, because I feel like they're gonna do their thing and I'm gonna do my thing. I'm not gonna do good or bad to make it upset or anything. So I just kind of kept to myself. Whatever happened. So
You just let them have their way.
yeah, I don't want to make anything upset, but even with everything that we had up and had the charms and him doing blessings, I would still have really vivid nightmares. Wake up in the middle of the night. I would have cuts and bruises and scratches on me out of nowhere. So I just was like, not gonna acknowledge it. Don't wanna have anything else happen.
Well, Jason, you lived here also, correct?
Yes.
Was it during the same time period?
Yes. Yeah.
And your bedroom was downstairs.
My bedroom was here at one time, and then at one time it was downstairs.
Well, when this was going on, you said this one was your room.
Yes.
Your brother's was in the opposite corner. Was this his room at the time, or was it a common room?
Well, we had the doors closed and it like blocked off, so it was two individual rooms, and then now they're just open now. So
We had a big tapestry up or a bed sheet or something covering it with cardboard and all that.
Some way to delineate the two rooms
Yeah.
for privacy. Okay, well, moving on to the next room. What kind of experiences did you have in here? There's, of course, no closet, but there is the back door to what I am assuming it would be considered a fire escape, or just
Kind of like a secondary entrance. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like a fire escape. There's a little porch area, but it's mostly just the stairs, which at one time were pretty rickety. I didn't like going up and down unless I had to. But
we were not safe.
well, this was your room. Did you have any type of experiences in
well,
here?
sure. Well, first of all, I tried to contain the spirits that were here. I asked them if they wanted to be active, to be in my room, and to leave the kids alone, which obviously didn't happen entirely. I would have whispers, little conversations that you think you're hearing a conversation, but you couldn't really make it out. Waking dreams, where I wasn't sure if I was awake or asleep, kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the little girl was quite active. At one point, she asked if she could call me Dad, and I was like, of course, I love kids, so I was like, of course, and so she made a joke. Her mother. I fell asleep at my mom's house one time. She was doing my mom's toenails, and I fell asleep in my chair, and she was doing my mom's toenails. Because I fell asleep, she painted one of mine. Well, I didn't know it. I didn't see it until after I had gotten home and taken a nap. Well, while I was asleep, I had a dream about the little girl coming into my room, and she pulled back the covers, and she said, "Oh, can I finish painting your toenails?" Now, I didn't know anything about the toenail being painted, so having a dream about the toenail being painted, there had to be something more to it than just me having a dream about it. Because when I woke up, I was like, holy crap, one of my toenails are painted. And I thought, how does spirit paint a toenail, right? And so I went downstairs and told Daphne, and she started laughing, and she said, I painted your toenail when you were asleep at your mom's. And I was like, well, I didn't notice. I was like, so my dream doesn't make sense because I had no knowledge of it. And so anyway, that was one of the funnier experiences. But I had quite a lot of experiences in here. I had a lot of trouble sleeping, and you would hear stuff move. You would set something somewhere and come right back to it, and it would be not there. You'd find it somewhere else. Just all kinds of stuff. The biggest thing that happened to me was in here in the boys' room. And if y'all want to go in here, I'll kind of explain what I'm talking about. The boys slept in here, and they had a television there, right?
Yeah.
And the old rocking chair was here, remember? Well, one night I came into the bathroom, the rocking chair is here, old rocking chair, big, heavy rocking chair. I come in the bathroom, I shut the door. Now I heard nothing. The boys didn't get waken up. I didn't hear anything. The rocking chair was upside down against the door when I went to come back out. And I have no explanation for that. A straight poltergeist activity. I mean, it's an old, heavy rocking chair.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably the creepiest thing. But it was a very playful thing. You know, kind of locking the door. And it only happened one time. But,
Do y'all feel most everything that happened was pretty playful, or?
yeah, there was, when we go downstairs, I'll talk. They interviewed me already. I don't want to try to dominate our interview. But they interviewed me already. But the negative entity that's here, we had him on lockdown. He was outside, and we saw him all the time.
So you're a male witch, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in all your experiences with the spirits, have you ever felt threatened, or is it just more of a, as he put it, playful nuisance?
I have been. We lived in, what side of town was it? It's up here. There's two big white houses, and we lived in the smaller one. Whatever was there, we moved out pretty instantly after I explained to my mom what happened. How it was separated is there was one side of the house and then another side of the house separated by like a French corridor. And on the second side of the house had like the little guest room and like the kitchen and like a second bathroom and 2 bedrooms. And my room was in the other side where the living room was. And I don't sleep really well. So I woke up in the middle of the night. It was school the next morning. It was like 4 in the morning, and I was like, I have to go back to bed. But I was really thirsty. So I got up, and I turned the hallway light on. And then on the wall, I saw a figure, and then a hand came up with what looks like a butcher knife. And I was like, it's probably just like my imagination, 4 a.m., blah, blah, blah. But I ran to my mom's room, and I'm like, I'm not going back out there. You need to talk to Jason. So Jason ended up putting a little recorder.
Long story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something about like the little girl, and after all the cars had left, you could hear her screaming inside my bedroom. So I'm not sure about that. But it was very scary, and I didn't want to be there anymore.
Did they ever tell y'all their names?
The ones here.
I'm horrible with names. I don't get names easily.
I'm pretty sure the little girl's name is Jane. If I remember what was carved in on the side of the house. I think they said Jane.
So you have had some experiences with negative
Yeah.
spirits. So you can compare that to what you've had here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had anything like that or negative in this house? Or has it been, as he said, playful
It's
more?
been pretty playful, other than with the nightmares and the just random scratches and bruises and cuts all over my body. Other than that, it's been pretty mild. I didn't get really like sick compared to what I would be like in a cemetery when it's like just draining. I mean, there's been kind of like horror movie things that have happened, like you get out of the shower and there's things written in mirrors, or like just a lot of the things happened where was everything getting locked. Like you would get locked in the bathroom, or like the closets would be locked and you couldn't get it open. So.
Did y'all ever have any issues with this back door?
Not that I
Not that I'm aware of.
remember.
Okay.
You mentioned before he started rolling that when the electrician came, they found something downstairs, outside.
Yeah, which we've been outside a whole lot. Me, my brother, and my cousin used to play out there. So like we've been around the houses, and I haven't seen anything carved had electricians come in, and they said the wiring was really bad and it wasn't safe. And they asked if we had a little girl, which I'm sure her name was Jane. They asked if she lived here because her name is carved in under the bedroom window down there. And we were like, no, we don't have anyone there, and that's never been here before. So I'm sure it was just like her being playful or whatever, but I don't know. It was very weird, but we were like,
Like, just let you know she's
yeah,
here.
it's just, I guess she likes to draw. But
Okay, well then,
Yeah,
this is the last
In
room.
this room, I actually got an EVP of the little girl when I investigated the house before we ever lived here. With Haunted Texas Paranormal, I investigated here with them, and I got an EVP of the little girl saying, I'm here.
Oh, so you came and visited with Haunted Texas Paranormal back when, before, I think she quit, this is 18, so back, I think it was like 2013 when she quit, so sometime
It's been a
before
long
that.
time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I investigated
Awesome.
here before we ever lived here. We did a
And
hack
still moved
shack
in, huh?
experiment. Yeah. Yeah, I love the house.
You did a what?
We did a hack shack experiment too, where we got some pretty good evidence. It's basically a radio that's modified to scan the frequencies.
Oh, okay,
And it
yeah.
makes voices. You can buy them at Radio Shack, that's what we call them, hack shacks.
Okay.
But anyway, what we did is I plugged headphones in so that I couldn't hear anything that was being asked, and all I could hear was what was coming through on the frequencies. And they would ask questions, and I would give responses to the questions. And every time they would ask a question, responses were coming through. And oddly enough, this little boy, which I can be perfectly honest and say I never encountered here that I know of. He never like presented himself to me in any way. But the little, other than this, through this session, and he was asking for someone named Seth. Well, I had a lady friend of mine who was somebody that she worked for a doctor that I see. And we were talking about the house, and that I had done an investigation there, and she was like, oh wow, I used to own that house. And she was like, it's totally haunted. And I was like, right. And I said, well, I've got EVPs from there if you want to hear them. And I said, a little boy came through in a session asking for somebody named Seth, and her eyes got that big around. And she said, that's my youngest son's name. And I was like, wow, it's a small world.
So the kid probably played with Seth while he was here.
Yeah, and she later told me that they would find Seth in his room with his toys scattered around, and he would be talking to someone and playing with someone and giggling and laughing, and there was never anybody there. It was just him playing by himself.
Wow.
She even said that he got real reclusive and didn't want to play with other kids. He always wanted to play in his room and play with what was there. So anyway, she was real interested to hear the EVPs that we got.
Is she still in the?
No, she moved to Washington State. She's not around anymore.
Oh, that must be the other person that said her daughter lived here and that she moved to Washington. So I bet that's
Does this closet over here hold any significance?
Other than it has attic access,
yeah,
I've never experienced anything in the closet. All my stuff's been in the bathroom and coming and going from there, other than when I was in my room up here. That's it. And I had forgotten her, she mentioned something about writing in the mirror. That did happen all the time. There would be actual words written in the mirror.
y'all remember?
I don't remember any of the words.
it was just kind of typical, like hi, bye, smiley faces. So I was just like, okay, but that's still creepy.
Okay, so let's head on downstairs.
Let's. Pretty about midway on the door, if you'd be sitting in the living room on that side of the living room watching television, out of the corner of your eye you would see somebody peek around. You would hear somebody coming down the stairs and see somebody peek around the corner. And so I call them peekers because I've experienced them more than once. but it was just a little child-sized figure. You would see head and shoulders. They would peek, and you would turn to look, and they would be gone. So that was kind of cool. And
We wrote the book out here. His name is Tennessee, and he would be sitting in the stairwell. So I kind of figured that that's what I would be seeing over here, because she wrote the book, and like we've talked to her and everything, but I don't know. The stairwell is always creepiest part of the house sometimes.
Or the basement, but this
That
one doesn't
explains
have.
what the telephone that was.
Okay, well, let's.
Oh, Rena?
Only us old folks know.
So was that the master and this was a secondary?
that was her mother's room. And when I lived downstairs, this was my room. So now, there's no closet in this room.
Right.
So I had a hanging closet, you know, one of the ones that stand up on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
My clothes are heavy, and I don't use wire hangers. But when you would be in here laying in bed asleep, you could hear somebody moving along the far wall. We didn't have mice, by the way. So you can rule out the fact that it was rodents, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the little movements and stuff. Anyway, you would hear movement along this far wall, and you would hear the clothes being rifled through. See them moving, hear the hangers moving, and I have plastic hangers, not metal hangers. So it was moved, you know, with some force
Mm-hmm.
to hear them moving like that. And that's really the only stuff that happened down here for me, other than stuff in the kitchen.
So your bed was up against this wall?
Yes.
This is where I had my bed in that little picture I showed you earlier. I'll
Wow.
show you before we leave.
My darling.